Socialism doesn't mean anything. Not in modern day America. Let me ask you something. If someone is called socialist, what policy do you think they support? Well, universal healthcare is a big one. A lot of conservative politicians will scream and cry about how if we adopt universal healthcare, America will suddenly become a socialist country. And, as we all know, all socialist countries are poverty-stricken, oppressive regimes. And when you point out the many countries, including all the ones in the Western world that conservatives love to praise so much, have universal health care and ask if they are socialists, they'll say, no, of course not. Those countries are capitalists. And then you'll ask, well, why can they have universal health care and not be socialist, but we can't? To which they might repeat themselves, saying that America is socialist without answering the question, or answer with some completely uncorrelated reason, like that individual European states have smaller populations than the US as a whole. You see, the point isn't for the argument to make sense, it's just to have something to say. We don't have universal health care because the private pharmaceutical industry is worth $446 billion every year. And the handful of elites who control that business want to keep making as much money as possible. These companies lobby politicians to make sure that we don't get universal health care. Now, of course, saying, yeah, we could easily give you all health care, but the billionaires who fund my re-election campaigns would not make as much profit, so sorry, doesn't sound very good. So they need to invent vague reasons as to why universal health care just wouldn't work in the US, despite working everywhere else. They'll talk about how the US government wouldn't provide good health care and you'd be better off with your current plan, despite the fact that Medicaid, the health care that the government currently provides to about 20% of the population, is considered to be extremely good health care with far more coverage than most private plans. Conservatives might say that universal health care will financially strain the lower classes, despite the fact that you wouldn't even need to raise taxes, and that currently 66.5% of all bankruptcies in America are due to medical issues. Our current system is making Americans go bankrupt. Does it really seem right or fair to you that cancer patients should have to go bankrupt so billionaires can make a little bit more profit? Now, it's true that the US has a larger population than any one European nation. Why does that mean universal health care wouldn't work in America? It doesn't. If anything, the fact that universal health care works in a variety of countries with different populations and population densities just proves how normal and effective it is. But the goal isn't to make a coherent point. It's just to put restrictions on your argument. You see, despite there being no valid reason as to why countries with smaller populations are not valid comparisons, they will demand other examples. Now, the US is the third most populated country in the world, so if you put this completely unnecessary restriction on your argument, you're left with two examples: India and China, despite the fact that Europe is far more comparable to the US in terms of population density. Now, China is an authoritarian and oppressive regime, while India, though nowhere near the one big slum often depicted in film and TV, does have a lot more poverty than the US. Now, neither China's oppression nor India's poverty comes from universal health care, but that doesn't matter, because causation is not important. These countries have issues, and these countries have universal health care, and that is all conservatives need. It doesn't matter if you can point to other countries without these issues because they'll insist that those examples are invalid because of some other nonsensical point. At this point in the conversation, conservatives will usually say that they've already explained their point and that they're done. It doesn't matter if the point made no sense, they just needed something to say that they could insist was right. Politicians make these nonsensical arguments up and then circulate them because they know the people of their party will repeat it with vigor. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. Tell me what you think in the comments below, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Peace out.